Do you remember Frutiger Aero? While you may not recognise the name, I'm sure you recognise the style or aesthetic it is attributed to. Popular in the late to early 2000s, it describes a period of time where glossy textures, eco-futurism and bright tertiary colours dominated design. I'm sure you've seen a plethora of videos looking at it in the context of interior decoration, websites, art and corporate design, or others that pair spaces with bright and nostalgic music. While primarily a tech aesthetic, looking at Frutiger in the context of movies and games of the 2000s gives a fascinating insight into how it was used to set the tone for other forms of media. The 2007 family adventure movie, Meet the Robinsons, encapsulates a lot of the core elements of Frutiger Aero in its locations and conceptualization of future technology. Have a look at this shot for example, specifically the smooth integration of nature within the buildings, grassy balconies and roofs. This all conveys a sense of sustainability, which ties into Frutiger's focus on ecofuturism, a time in the not too distant future where we have successfully meshed the environment with active industrial development. Looking further, the giant glossy bubbles people are transported in are consistent with many other designs stemming from this aesthetic. Again here, we can see an emphasis on practical yet sustainable interaction with the natural environment. Avatar, released in 2009, is seen by some as a defining example of Frutiger Aero in film. Vibrant blues and greens are present not only in the alien world of Pandora, but also in the sleek, futuristic design of human technology. Many rooms are circular, with smooth, shiny edges and fluid transitions between spaces. In this shot, take note of the naturalistic blues intertwined with the link units and the cylindrical structure of the room that rejects more cubic contemporary design. Similar to Meet the Robinsons, this is another example of a director's vision of the future featuring elements of ecofuturism and of course, Frutiger Aero. Wii Sports Resort is perhaps the most obvious example of Frutiger Aero in gaming. Both the visuals and soundtrack perfectly capture its feeling. From the bubble-like icons of menu selection to the glossy waves of wakeboarding, the landscape and UI are distinctly 2000s. Woohoo Island itself is not dominated by either nature or its occupants, but rather a harmonious combination of both. When golfing, you are met with an endless expanse of green that collides with the sky, reminiscent of this iconic wallpaper. The game feels fresh, complemented by the elements of Frutiger utilised. Mirror's Edge, a free-running game from 2008, features many locations and colour palettes that are consistent with the aesthetic. Again, set in the near future, the game takes you through mazes of buildings, almost all coated in an ultra-clean, shiny coat of paint. Many rooms use vibrant shades of blue and green, which mirror Frutiger-inspired artwork and design. For this office location in particular, notice the green waves on the roof, the fluidity of the room and the grass-like texture on the floor. All of these features hint at a world that values natural inspiration in their urban design, managing to incorporate it in a clean and fresh way. This is part of why the game's art style is so impactful. It lets players immerse themselves in what could have been, while remaining just out of reach of reality. So yes, these elements may have been prevalent in a lot of 2000s media, but what effect might this have actually had? Well, if you were young around the time of its popularity, this aesthetic most likely formed your understanding of the future, an organic combination of advanced technology, innovation and nature. Watching or playing these films or games, often depicting an almost utopian vision of this, gave a sense of hope and excitement that was aided by their bright colour palettes and setting. Many people felt that this was the future we were inevitably headed towards. Consequently, Frutiger Aero and the media that came with it is remembered fondly, but not always without a level of sadness. It appears now that there is less innovation or ambition to push for this reality. Houses are still being designed with the same shades of grey and white, in the same cubic and rigid form. For many, it seems strange that this vision of the future has been all but forgotten and, ironically, left in the past. Thanks for watching. Feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed or a dislike if otherwise, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. This has been Extra Mint, and I'll see you soon.